Hey, what's up YouTube? My name's Brett Bodkins and I'm a photographer. I recently got to go home to my favorite state of West Virginia. While I was there, I got to do some photography and wanted to share some of my favorite places. I don't have photos for every place on the list, but some needed to make my list regardless. I've sort of arranged these in an order by geographical location, starting at the iconic Blackwater Falls. It's no surprise to me that some of my favorite parts of the state are also the areas with the highest elevations. The whole trip could be completed anywhere from a couple of days to a week depending on what you end up doing. Usually if you know anything about West Virginia, then you'll know about Blackwater Falls. It is a great place to go, but a lot of people don't know about the Ellicala Falls trio that lies a short distance away in the same park. The first one is pretty easily accessible on a short 10-minute hike. The others are much more difficult and treacherous to get to. Another short drive in the park will take you to a fantastic overlook called Lindy Point. It's a great place for sunset shots, but I haven't had the pleasure of shooting a sunset there yet. The next stop is the amazing Dolly Sods Wilderness. This spot is renowned on the East Coast and for good reason. The higher altitude plateau is characterized by windswept trees, rocky cliffs, and boulders, as well as some bogs. Don't miss the Tree of Enchantment hidden in the thick pine forests on the way in. There are many different hiking trails and areas of the park to go visit. You could easily spend a whole week here. Do spend a little time reading about the history of the area, as it is really cool and I won't have time to cover it all here. The next spot on the list is Seneca Rocks and Seneca Caverns. The first one we'll get to will be the Seneca Rocks, with Seneca Caverns a couple miles further south. Seneca Rocks is a really cool rock formation that can be seen from far away because it's at the top of the mountain. It's a highly regarded rock climbing destination. The hike up to the observation deck is a nice 2 to 3 hour hike up a group of switchbacks. Only experienced climbers should venture out on the rock ridges past this point. I got to go on a beautiful foggy day and it was a great time. The Seneca Caverns is a cave previously lived in and used by the Seneca Indians. I haven't been, but caves are an awesome road trip experience, especially on hot summer days. The next location on my list is Spruce Knob. It is the highest peak in West Virginia at 4,863 feet. It features an alpine forest at the higher elevations with windswept trees, something more commonly seen in Canada than the United States. There's an observation tower at the top that provides a nice 360-degree view. Another spot on my list that I haven't yet been, but can't wait to get my chance. Next spot we're going to show is the Scenic Railroad. It's an 11-mile historic railroad line now operated as a tourist destination. The town of Cass was originally a company town for timber operations. You basically ride a locomotive to the top of the mountain and back, but it is a nice cool look into the past. From there we'll use the Highland Scenic Highway. It's a designated National Scenic Byway that runs through the Mon National Forest for about 23 miles. There are designated observation spots along the sides to park in so you can get out and get a good look. The route was originally a Seneca Indian trail and it generally runs along the ridgeline. There's even a section that overlooks our next location, the Cranberry Glades. This road is dangerous in the winter because of its course and also because the roads are not cleared of ice and snow. The Cranberry Glades are a group of 5 acidic high-altitude bogs that are typically found much further north. I'm not going to go into detail on the biology of the place, but definitely do a search on it. It's an interesting place for sure. I haven't got the chance to go in the summer when the bogs turn a brilliant red color. Seriously, search the pictures. The Greenbrier Resort was built near the city of White Sulphur Springs. It was a well-regarded resort that has had 26 U.S. presidents stay during its long history. It was originally built in 1858 but rebuilt in 1913. In the 1950s, under the pressures of the Cold War, the U.S. government had a secret bunker built underneath of the resort. It was intended to house the U.S. Congress in the event of a nuclear confrontation. The Glade Creek gristmill located at Babcock State Park is gorgeous and is one of very few operational gristmills left in the United States. It was assembled in 1976 using pieces of multiple others from around the state and is one of the most commonly photographed spots in West Virginia. Definitely worth a visit, and a shot during the fall would be killer. The new River Gorge Bridge is infamous around West Virginia and known to many outside the region as well. The bridge is featured on the West Virginia Commemorative Quarter and was an engineering marvel when it was built between 1974 and 1977. The bridge has held a few records and still ranks near the top in a few categories as well. The bridge runs 876 feet above the New River and is one of the highest vehicular bridges in the world. The New River that runs underneath is a fantastic river for whitewater rafting, and there are many great hiking spots and waterfalls. Definitely spend some time to take the road underneath the span and explore the local area a bit if you can. Cathedral Falls is a beautiful 60-foot waterfall located just off the road near the town of Golly Bridge. It's a nice falls and easily accessible from the road, but the water does slow to a trickle at times. I want to go see it frozen over sometime, but haven't had that chance. Our next spot is the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. The construction timeline has a somewhat complex history, but it was started in 1858 and opened to patients in 1864. The hospital's main building is claimed to be one of the largest hand-cut stone masonry buildings in the United States and the second largest hand-cut sandstone building in the world, with the only bigger one being the Kremlin in Moscow. The hospital ended up being ground zero for a major lobotomy project in the 1950s designed to reduce the number of patients in an attempt to ease overcrowding. The building is now being operated as a tourist attraction with the goal to raise money for renovation. Just check out some pictures from this spot and you'll probably want to stop by. The next spot on our list is Valley Falls, located outside of Fairmont, West Virginia. It's a nice double falls and was previously the site of an old grist mill. Definitely take the time to go out and check it out. Next we'll go to Cooper's Rock State Forest. It's a beautiful spot outside of Morgantown. There's a well-known overlooked spot, but the park has plenty of other cool places to hike and see. You might stop at the Cheat Lake along the way and definitely consider stopping in Morgantown to see West Virginia University and grab some good food. There are plenty of great restaurants to consider, but definitely look for something local. Our next spot is the West Virginia State Penitentiary in Moundsville. It's a very cool Gothic-style prison constructed between 1867 and 1876. It's now operated as a tourist attraction and also is the location of one of the coolest haunted houses anywhere. The Grave Creek Indian Burial Mound is located right across the street and is one of the largest burial mounds in the U.S., standing at about 69 feet high. There is a museum on the grounds, and you should definitely stop by if you have the time. Alright, our last spot is the New Vrindavan Palace of Gold. It's an interesting Hindu temple located outside of Moundsville. It was founded in 1968 and still has members living there today. You take a nice drive through the country to get there. The palace is beautiful and they allow visitors to roam the grounds and even go into the temple, minus your shoes of course, and definitely eat some good Indian food while you're there. Hopefully you enjoyed it and that it will help you prepare for any future trips to this great state. Maybe you have more suggestions for my next trip back or to make this list better in the future. Feel free to comment below and subscribe if you'd like to follow my future travels.